We are back
for another issue of the Not So Perfect podcast. As always, I am Matt Chinn with
Gerardo Cornejo with the Cornejo Group.
Yes.
Hanging out at Downtown Fitness.
Yep, where nobody cares, work harder.
Yes, nobody cares, work harder. Welcome back, guys. Thank
Welcome
you
back.
guys. We have a lot of great results on views. People are watching us, talking about us.
Yeah.
I think we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, what we wanted to be doing.
Well, either way, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. Just nice to know we got some listeners on the other side. It's not just two guys in a garage trying to make it.
Two guys in the garage. That was the other name of our podcast.
Yeah, it's already taken. So, Not So Perfect podcast it is. No, so what's going on? How's the puppy training going?
You're looking at
You're looking a little
puppy
extra,
life.
You're looking a little extra tired this week.
Puppy, a brand new puppy owner. We're a week this afternoon, and smart dog potty training. But it's actually been. I came up with this like, man, dogs keep you younger.
Yeah.
And I know we talked that about a little bit. They keep you funner and younger. I'm waking up at earlier, and we're going for walks earlier. There's no more sleeping in.
Yep.
So we're back to that life, and it's going.
Well, you know what some people say, that sleeping is cheating. So, way to not cheat.
Sleeping is cheating.
Way to be up earlier and not cheat.
Yeah, nobody cares anyways if I get more sleep.
Well, and let me tell you who really doesn't care. The dogs don't. Like, it doesn't matter if it's your birthday, if it's Christmas, if it's whatever. They want to go on their walks. They want to go outside. They want to do their stuff, and they don't care how your mental health is doing. They want you to get outside, get some sunlight, improve that mental health. But yeah, those dogs will always keep you young.
Yeah, and we're at 6 a.m. We're taking walks together. It's something we've been wanting to do, and it's the little thing I needed to get me going.
Yeah.
So.
And you got to figure if this little dog can get up and be active, ready to go at 6 a.m., so can Dad.
Just a 13-week life.
Yes.
Brand new thing. But yeah, that and business is popping. The real estate market is taking off. It's springtime, and we have more houses under contract than are available on the market. So I told my team yesterday, here's from today till Christmas. It's time to go to work.
Yep.
Not too many people would enjoy hearing that, but this is the time, at least in the real estate industry, my business, where it's the busiest. So,
Well, and if you can't get excited about being busy, this is your time to make money. So either you're probably in the wrong industry, or
it is a for-profit business. You do got to make a living.
Got the wrong motivations in line. So
so checking in with everybody and making sure, like, I can't do it for you. Workouts, you can't do them for us.
Right.
You can't get me six-pack abs.
I tried.
I got to do it all.
I tried. And the only thing that happened.
It didn't happen in 2 weeks, so I quit.
The only thing that happened was mine kept getting better and Gerardo's kept getting worse. So it's just proof in the pudding there.
Bad habits, better habits.
All good. All good.
How's Matt Chinn? Busy.
Yeah, it's been a busy time
Chinn.
of year as well for us. We got the race coming up here in a couple weeks. So we're just grinding down, getting all of our deadlines taken care of, just getting final proofs, final approval, and everything submitted for T-shirts and signs and
I did see the new T-shirts.
Finish lines and what else we got? Metal design, just bib design. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. So we got a lot of those deadlines coming up. Quick shout out, if anybody wants to take a look, maybe you've already registered for the race. We have added some new apparel. If you guys want to add something new to the cart, we've got men and women's tank tops. We've got sweatshirts. We've got T-shirts. So go on to the race website, runsignup.com, find a race, toggle at the top, Capital City Race, or we can probably just throw a quick link in
the link will be down there.
We'll throw a quick link in the description. But if you want to add any other different apparel, we've got some cool stuff that's good for all year. We've got tank tops for the summers, we've got T-shirts for the regular time, and then we've got the sweatshirts as well. So take a look at those if you have not. I shared them on my Facebook page, and I think the Capital City Race page. So if you're looking for those, go on Facebook or we'll have a link in the description. So outside of that, last week I got to do, we were lucky enough. We warmed up with the Not So Perfect podcast Wednesday. Shout out, got a lot of good positive feedback on that. Had a couple people reach out specifically about, hey, you mentioned an AA meeting in Wardsville. Where exactly is that? Asking for a friend. So again, hopefully the message we're spitting is reaching the people that needs to reach.
What was the comment you said? Because it was that they didn't want to go there because they didn't want to be seen. And you were like, you don't want to be seen by the other alcoholics doing exactly the same thing you're doing. You said something like that.
That's an ego thing. So yeah, if you're too ashamed to show up to a meeting to get yourself better, here's the deal with those meetings: is if you go in there and sit down and there's 8 other people sitting around, you're all there for the same reason.
Yeah.
So no one's going to be there to, like, that's a thing that people don't probably understand if you haven't been. There's no judgment. You're checking egos at the door. Okay, you're hanging all that shit up as you walk in, whether you're walking in as a Republican or a Democrat or a this or a that. Like, when we walk in those halls, everything else is secondary. The main goal is staying sober for another day, you know? So break it down into real small, simple pieces and real small, simple steps. Don't look at it as one big leap of faith. You know, kind of like eating an elephant, one bite at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself with trying to eat the whole thing at once. Little things, little things. So hopefully that message will get some more people to the Wardsville AA meeting as well.
Yeah.
So
thank you for sharing that.
Had a lot of fun with that. And then the following day, Thursday, I got to do the Show Me State of Mind podcast for the Missouri Behavioral Health Council. Shout out Missouri Behavioral Health. They've been our top sponsor for the last going on 3-4 years now. And then also shout out to Brent McGinty. He was the podcast host.
Okay.
And he did a great job, I felt. And I've known Brent for a long time, just getting into this space of mental health. Him and his wife participate in the race every year. They're runners, so they get out there and they show their support as well. So love Brent and love everything the Missouri Behavioral Health Council does for us, and just all things mental health, substance abuse. So if you guys haven't seen their new building, it's the Roy E. Blunt building over there on Edgewood.
Oh.
Next to the surgery center. Holy cow. It is a very nice
Can anybody
building.
just go to see it? Or?
I would imagine you probably
Contact
could.
Matt for a private tour.
Yeah, well, here's the good thing. So what we do is we've got the volunteer race, or the volunteer meeting and packet pickup are going to be held there. So we'll get to anyone that's picking up packet pickups or volunteering for the race or the volunteer meeting on Wednesday of race week. We'll get to see it, and it is probably one of the nicest buildings I've been in outside of the Capitol.
Okay.
Like, it's probably the nicest building in Jeff City. So. Yeah, very nice place.
And brand new.
And brand spanking new. So that was a lot of fun. Got a tour of that whole place. And one of the neat things they're trying to do is, so they've got Missouri Behavioral Health Councils in there. They've also got the Primary Care Doctors Association. So their goal is to try and get everybody health and wellness kind of under one roof, so it's easier to collaborate and just work together as opposed to working in different directions, you know. Let's kind of use these tools to help all of us be better, including the community. So, yeah, just very honored and grateful to get to do that podcast and just tell my story. So hopefully if you got to listen to it, you enjoyed it. If you haven't listened to it, I've shared it on social media, Facebook, and then I believe it's on Missouri Behavioral Health Council's
We will
Facebook
have a link
page
to
as well.
that.
So, yeah, outside of that.
How's it feel, man, to be participating in all this stuff and continuing to...
You know, it's almost to the point now where if I stop and I feel like if at this point, if I stop to really think about it all, I probably get overwhelmed, but I try not to dwell on those things too long. I appreciate it for the moment, and I just try and keep moving because I don't want to get stuck in a past, repeat phase of how great things are, because as soon as I start believing that, I'm going to find out something else is going to go wrong, whether it be race related or just personal life or whatever. So I try and just enjoy it for a selected period of time, maybe the rest of that day. Boy, this is great. This was awesome. Great experience. But the next day I wake up, it's back to work, So
work harder, nobody cares.
That's right. Yeah. Well, I kind of take it from the David Goggins mentality of that poopy pants mentality.
Yeah.
Let's say you're training for this race and you get out there, you've done all the things you need to, and you just run a bad race. You didn't get the results you wanted. You're bummed out about it, The choice is, how long do you want to be bummed out about it? Do you think 6 months of being bummed out about this is going to be productive for you? Or do you think taking an hour and, all right, take yourself an hour, feel sorry for yourself. After that hour's over, back to the drawing board, So that's kind of the mentality I try and take with all things good, bad, and different. Try not to dwell, because that's something I did a lot in the old version of me. Was I'd be stuck in this repeat cycle of the past and not looking forward at what is potentially ahead.
I've been actually watching my son with baseball this weekend, struggling. You could tell when he's gonna hit the ball, and you can tell when he's not gonna hit the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that if he strikes out, it's that poopy pants mentality. His next at bat, he was like, I'm just gonna strike out anyways.
Yep.
Like I'm not even gonna try. I'm just gonna strike out anyways. I'm like, you've shown everybody you can hit the ball, dude. You know, so it's tough training a 10-year-old to think. At least like we go, you get another chance.
Yeah.
All right, you strike. That's the beauty of baseball. You get another chance.
Yeah, and guess what? If you can strike out 7 times out of 10, you're probably going to be in the Hall of Fame. So, it's just a different aspect.
And I wish they could understand that.
It's a different protocol when you're looking at like, oh, well, this basketball player makes 75% of his shots. Like, gosh, he's really good. And then you look at baseball, it's like they only hit the ball 30% of the time, and those are the good ones. So, totally different just way to look at it. But the thing that I like to do with the younger kids, especially 10, around that age, is I don't like to inflate the ego with, man, you're so talented, you're so gifted, God's given you all these gifts. I try to frame it more of a standpoint of, you're trying so hard, just keep trying, because that is what life is more about, is the trying and the falling down and the brushing off and getting back up is more realistic of how life goes, as opposed to God's blessed you with all these gifts and talents, you don't have to do anything with them because God's given you those. So you're not going to, if I had to choose somebody that was either a really good trier, a super hard trier, versus someone that's super gifted, I'll take the hard trier 100% of the time. Because I know those people have adversity. If they don't get what they want, they know how to push through that. They know how to dust off, get back up, learn from your mistakes, try not to do them again. Where people on the other side that are more gifted, they just rely on their athletic or their academic abilities, which might be better than other people, but the effort they put in is nil compared to those people that are putting the effort in. So I always look at it and frame it from a standpoint of just keep trying. You're the best trier I know. You try so hard. You work so hard. Just keep putting in the work. Because in any aspect of our life, what is it always going to require? Work.
Effort.
Work.
Showing up.
And failing.
Dude, and better than yesterday has helped us out a lot with my son too. Like he'll strike out on Saturdays.
Failing is what happens in life. Tell me someone who hasn't failed at any point of their life, and tell me why it's beneficial to not promote raising kids from that standpoint as opposed to the gifts and the talents and all that. Maybe God did give you all those, okay? But like Steve Prefontaine says, to give anything less than your absolute best is a waste of the talent. It's one of my favorite sayings of all time because there's so much truth in there, So.
At least you leave it all out there.
Yeah, no regrets. Even if you don't get what you want, that's okay. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is to overcome that fear and to take that step of, I might strike out, or I might look like a fool, or I might, whatever it might be. But taking that step when before you would have been stuck never thinking about taking that first step,
I told him it's hard enough going out there with a bat and stepping in there.
I'll tell you, I couldn't make it in baseball because I was too afraid of getting hit by the ball. And that's just the honest opinion. That's why I didn't play past 8th grade, because I'm just like, nah.
No, man.
No thanks.
They're so passionate too. Like they'll lose and they're crying and they cry and they strike out. It's like, man, it's you got love for the game. We can't take that away from you. Good job. Just keep trying.
Yeah, well, as opposed to the ones that are just there because their parents signed them up, as opposed to the ones that are actually wanting to be there to, work on the teamship, the camaraderie, and getting better at their skill.
And that's in the business world too. Like the phone calls, all the no's. It's fail.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Take that, what you're talking about right now, and apply that to Jacob, where it's like, how do you explain to a kid, if you fail, that's on you. You need to do better, as opposed to, hey, this is part of life. You're going to figure out, maybe I didn't have the best delivery to start with. Maybe I didn't follow through with all the promises I made. Maybe I shouldn't make promises I don't know if I can keep or not. Basic stuff like that. Because, when it comes down to it, we got to look at just the moral integrity of what decisions we're making. Whether that be a good thing, a bad thing, or maybe there's no good or bad involved. It's just trying to get better at your craft or your skill or your career path or your sport. So definitely something you need to think about in terms of, when looking internally about how and here's another thing I got to come clean with. So on Saturday, I jumped one of our clients' ass because he was running late, this and that. The whole rest of and as soon as I did that and as soon as I left here, I knew instantly what happened. And what it was I was reflecting of how my dad used to treat me whenever I was growing up, whenever I was 8 years old and didn't know
You
what
got triggered.
a 3/4 crescent wrench with a, whatever it was that we were working on out at the trailer park. I didn't know what it was. I knew we were in the bathroom, so I opened up his plumbing toolbox and grabbed 30 tools and ran back, hoping one of them was right. And of course it wouldn't be the right tool.
It was the 31st one.
He'd get upset and, damn it, if I need to do something, I'll just do it myself. Like, I hated that. I didn't enjoy any part of that growing up. And what I did in that moment was the exact same thing that my dad used to do to me. So I went on the rest of that day and I was mowing the grass that night, and the entire time I was mowing, that was just on repeat in my brain. You know what you did was wrong. You know why you did it. You know what it's a reflection of. What are you going to do about it? And in AA, there's the step that we have where, once we make this progress, we make steps towards being a better person. We've overcome a lot of these initial steps. Once you get there, we make some headway and you're on the path to being better. When you were wrong, promptly admit it. Now notice the language there. It's not saying, hey, in a couple weeks, let them know you're sorry. When you are wrong, promptly admit it. So Sunday morning, I woke up still just hanging on my chest and my shoulders that I needed to talk to Jim. So sent him a text that morning, apologized to him, told him exactly why things went the way they went. It was no reflection of what I thought of him. It's me in a vulnerable spot of reflecting of what used to bother me. So just for those that don't think that these are principles that people actually practice, they do, and a lot of this comes from AA, but like I tell people all the time, that step of the AA, I think that is applicable to everybody. And why shouldn't it be? If we are wrong and we know we're wrong, why wouldn't we promptly admit that to the person or persons we're talking to, So again, that just goes to show if you have issues with that, you have an ego issue there. Because that's why you can't get those words out to that person that you need to apologize to, is because your ego is standing between you and them. So, little life lesson coming personally from me over the weekend. I'm not perfect, just more proof that I'm not. You're not perfect, but if we want to try and get better, these are the ways we do that. When I am wrong, I promptly admit it. So, that's kind of how.
There's so much freedom and peace. And didn't you feel better?
I felt 1,000 times better.
You're not carrying it, holding it on for a week.
Because all day Saturday, that's all I did. I just carried it like dragging a 5-gallon bucket full of rocks behind you all day. Just a little bit slower, everything just a little bit tougher, So, just wanted to throw that in real quick.
Yeah, that's. I had a thought about that. We also have another podcast about being triggered, which is we had a whole conversation on that, especially with couples and in relationships. And step back, promptly. Would you say promptly?
When you were wrong, promptly admit it.
Yeah.
Yep, and that works for.
I love being wrong.
Tell me how that wouldn't benefit a household such as yours. Mm-hmm. Let's just say everybody in your household's not honest. How much progress you guys going to get? How cohesive of a family
would not be a household.
You guys going to have?
Yeah, that would not be a household.
So again, just referring back, tell me how some of these principles wouldn't apply to everybody's life. You know what I mean? Now, that's not saying you need to be an alcoholic to apply these principles. These are just good principles to live by.
Beat that stage, yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted to get that out, get that off my chest, and just, if you guys think that we're perfect, here's a prime example of how we're not. So, yeah. Outside of that, trying to think what we got coming up here. Attention all volunteers or potential volunteers for the Capital City Race. There will be a link posted today on our social medias about if anybody is interested in volunteering for the race. There's a link that'll take you to 3 different days of setup stuff that we need volunteers for. There's a Wednesday night of the race. That would be the 6th of May. Wednesday night, and then we also have the Friday night packet pickup, which is going to be just getting people registered that show up for their packets, get their t-shirts, get their bibs, all that stuff. So that's Friday evening for a couple hours, and then Saturday morning we'll need volunteers pretty much all morning from 4 a.m. pretty much until we're done, 11, 12 o'clock is usually. So check our social medias if you're interested in volunteering. I had a couple people reach out, and I thought the link was more obvious on the sign-up page than what it is. So we've got a direct link to take you straight to the volunteer section. So if you've looked and can't find it or just having issues, had a couple other people had issues. So I sent them the link, but if you're interested, we'll also include that in the description as well for the volunteers.
Question.
Yeah.
Are dogs allowed?
So about that, had somebody reach out to me yesterday, and I have not gotten back to them, but I will. So I just rely on anything that comes with dogs or anything to do with public safety. I just refer to the JCPD. According to the JCPD, they do not want dogs regardless of how well trained they are. We don't know that for a fact, and if we get 30 people hurt because the dog's not, that's just not a risk that we can take. So unfortunately, no dogs are allowed on the course. If you're a spectator, you can have a dog there with you, just not while running
The 5K, 10K.
the 5K, the 10K, or the half marathon. So if you're a volunteer, if you're just there as a spectator, you can have a dog there. But there's too much liability being on the road because we just have a cone lane, so it's not a full side of the street. So again, you're working with pretty narrow lanes. And with a leash and all that stuff, it's just too much of a liability. So unfortunately, we cannot do that. We would love you guys to be there to support. If you're not going to run, you can have your dog there as a spectator.
Could the volunteers have a dog sitting section?
Ooh, that's a good question.
No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe for next year.
Here's my dog mentality now.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's too late in your plans now.
Yeah, we're going to need to recalibrate the
Every year,
bags.
Cap City race just gets bigger and bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. We're looking forward to it. I think Jacob has a baseball tournament, but we're probably going to miss the first game.
That's all
But
right.
we want to be there. So.
Appreciate that, man. Means a lot. Means a lot. So how about you guys? Anything else?
No.
Stacy good?
No, yeah, Stacy's good.
How's she handling the puppy?
We had the conversation. This is exactly what we said was going to happen, that we didn't want to happen, but here we are.
Yep.
But it's just cool.
How the
It's
kids
cool.
doing with the puppy?
Oh, they're busy. They're the one that wanted him the most is too busy.
Oh, okay.
Teenager. So she's on the couch. She's like, I gotta go. It's like you were begging the whole time for this. So learning that part of life in the process.
Yep.
But I told my teenagers, like, you don't want to be called a teenager, but here's the definition of a teenager, and you're checking all the boxes.
Yeah. Give me a reason to not think that you're a teenager without telling me you're a teenager.
Yeah. So that's that. But I'm excited. Good things happening in the real estate world. Love the company I'm working with. It's growing still. Excited about the choices I've made and who I'm surrounding myself with now.
Yeah.
And this, I mean, if you see our first podcast and if you hear Matt talking now, like Matt has taken over it, and I'm very proud of where you're at, what you're doing, and be proud of yourself too, man, because it's what you're doing. Oh, and the letter, we thought we were being pranked.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
Our mailman comes in and just delivers something like this, usually talks to us, and I was like, I put it down, and I was like, I should go take this to Matt, because I think you were the client. Mm-hmm. So I ended up taking it anyways. So I present Matt with a special envelope.
Let me give you a little preview before that letter was dropped off on Friday. So this happened on last Friday, and for whatever reason, I was just in a funk. I wouldn't say I was in a bad mood. I was just kind of blah. Didn't really have a good reason why, but I just was. And I can recognize whenever I'm not fully myself and whenever I'm kind of dragging a little bit. But so anyway, so I got in there. I had a 3 o'clock appointment, and she was in here. Gerardo comes dropping the letter off. So I look at it, and it says United States Senate, addressed to me.
It was stamped.
Yeah.
It was stamped. It was official.
So I was like, okay. So my first thought is Gerardo and them are punking me. And I opened up the letter, and it was a typed up letter from Senator Eric Schmidt congratulating me on the Missouri Mental Health Foundation's Champions Award, which I won. They're going to do that ceremony on May 7th at the Capitol Plaza, so excited about that. But that letter came at the time when I needed it most, I was very shocked because it said it wasn't just, inorganic letter that said my name, where you basically erase name, insert other person's name, and it's the exact same body of work. It was a letter that was typed up specifically mentioning my race, the work that we're doing from my race. So this wasn't something that you could just make up out of thin air and BS your way through. So very proud and appreciative that we're catching people in Washington's attention. Never something I thought would have been a thing, but maybe we're a little ahead of schedule than what I thought. But, you know, I'm going to keep the message the same. You know, if this podcast, or if me doing another podcast, or me talking to whoever is going to help one person, this is all worth it. You know, if it's 100 people, that's even better. But if there's still one person tuning in, this is something that they can listen to and help make their life better. You know, so hopefully getting to a better point of their life sooner than what I did with mine. You know, I just hate seeing people waste their life being stuck in something that I was stuck in, that I managed to claw myself out of. So the message is always going to be the same. You know, this is just my story. This is what happened to me. You know, everyone's like, gosh, you don't have any notes or anything? It's like, well, this is my life. So I hope I don't need a notepad full of notes to remind me of all that stuff. But yeah, so it's just, this is me, this is my journey, this is where I started, this is where I'm at, and these are all the things that have happened in between. So yeah, shout out Senator Eric Schmidt. Very appreciative of the letter, very thoughtful, and whether you know it or not, it came at the perfect time.
Congratulations,
yeah,
sir.
So thank you guys.
Huge stuff.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, and yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Seemed like a good spot to stop.
Something you started out of nothing, now here being talked about.
Well,
in
not out of
Washington,
nothing. I was up at High Rise Googling.
Well, Cap City.
I was up at High Rise Googling after I had that meeting with Judge Walker. It was like, how to start a nonprofit race. So that's where it all began. But yeah, from nothing to something. So we'll keep coming back.
That's a quick update with, we didn't want to leave you guys hanging this week. Yep. If you do listen to us, reach out to us. Please connect with us.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear who is actually, like Matt said, benefiting for this, or just getting one nugget out of it. I mean, you're feeling shitty that day, and God said, here you go, Matt.
Yeah. And again,
boom.
This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about that has happened to me ever since I made that choice in jail. You know, I can't explain. I didn't expect this. I didn't know it was en route. I didn't get a USPS notification that a special package was being, none of that. So these are the things that happen by me just doing the next right thing, being better than yesterday, not caring, working harder, just, you know, quiet out the outside noise and just focus on doing better for yourself.
That ego's way out there.
Keep on doing better for yourself, and you'll do better for others as well. Sound good?
Awesome. Oh, and big shout out to Eminem. He got his, was it 13 or 18 years sobriety coin?
You're on social media, brother. You tell me.
Yeah, so we've been reaching out to Eminem to come join us for the podcast. We haven't heard back, but shout out to Eminem. That's yeah, he put up his coin.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, to be at those levels and still talk about, it's just real life stuff.
Yeah, well, and just think, the more you're in the limelight, it's going to be even easier to be tempted and, you know, have that red devil 666 try and come in there and disrupt your sobriety. So
yeah, so if you're watching this, Eminem, reach out to us. We'd love to have you here. I think we can make space for him.
Eminem, friend of the show. Friend of the show. Yeah, open invitation, Eminem. Marshall
Thank
Mathers.
you for watching the Not So Perfect podcast.
Till next time, guys. We'll see you later.
Peace.
Peace.